Manchester United's new manager, Rúben Amorim, has just won over the fan base and he didn't even have to manage a game for the club. Last evening, Sporting Lisbon didn't just defeat, but they dismantled Pep Guardiola's Man City side 4-1. In this video, we're going to be going over how Amorim dismantled Pep's City side, the latest news that's come out on Amorim's move to Manchester United, and why this game may have just retired Guardiola from the Premier League. Let's go. Okay, so let's start with looking at the stats. Rúben Amorim lined up with his traditional 3-4-3 formation, whereas Pep Guardiola lined up with his 4-1-4-1 formation. The star of the show was Sporting's Guardiola, who picked up a hat-trick. Many have tipped him to follow Amorim and move to Manchester United in the summer. Whether we would bring in another striker to Old Trafford is yet to be confirmed. Despite Lisbon only having 27% of the possession in comparison to Man City's 73%, Amorim somehow set them up in a way where they were able to create more XG than them and over double the big chances. Now, obviously the fact that Man City conceded 2 penalties is going to warp the XG stats a touch, but at the same time, Amorim is setting up his team to be able to create chances that they can win penalties from, so you can't take that away from him. Not to mention that win ended Man City's record run of 26 games without a 90-minute or extra time defeat in the Champions League. The win also means that Amorim's Sporting are the only club that remain unbeaten this season domestically and continentally. And you can call me crazy, but this result has let my mind wander. If Amorim is able to achieve all of this with a squad such as Sporting's, what is he going to be able to do with a more quality-stricken squad like Manchester United's? I know our squad isn't cohesive and some of these players are grifters who do need to be let go, but what if Amorim can get a tune out of the underperforming players before eventually moving them on in the summer? We've shown that we can score a lot of goals in the EFL Cup this season, and Amorim has been known to win trophies quite early on in his managerial career with clubs, for example when he was at Braga. Is it crazy to say that I actually think Amorim may win a trophy in his first season at United, despite not even starting with us at the start of the season? Amorim did come out with a few interesting quotes before the game against City. For example, "I'm going to a more complicated world at United, but we have to take steps forward." The reason I find this quote particularly interesting is it shows the human side to the man. He's not scared to admit that the United job is obviously a harder job than his current role at Sporting, but instead of saying harder, he's going with complicated. I think this is so refreshing because when I think of managers gone by who have joined Manchester United, they have all almost shrugged it off, having a business as usual mindset, which in my opinion isn't the right way to go about things. By acknowledging it's going to be a hard role, it's much easier to mentally prepare yourself for the world you're entering. Additionally, saying we have to take steps forward shows his mindset. Those are words of a man who is looking to progress and challenge himself, and he knows that he can't do that without progressing up the managerial ladder. Tomorrow I will be Sporting's coach, and only Sporting's. From the 11th, I will be United's. I know they will draw conclusions from the result, but I don't care. I understand the interest. For me, it's just another game against a team from the best league. This quote shows Amorim's integrity despite obviously the wave of interest he's had to face after it was announced that he would become the new head coach of Manchester United. He's not entertaining journalists whatsoever. Not to mention, this shows his mindset when it comes to fans, the media, etc. Telling everyone that he does not care about what conclusions people take from the game. And in reality, he's right. Just because he's won this game against City doesn't now mean that he's going to go on and win the treble with United. It will be a different adaptation, but my life will be the same. There is a way of playing, an idea, but communication will be more basic. This one I've seen a lot of people take out of context. Amorim doesn't mean that his communication will be more basic because the players aren't capable of understanding his tactics. He means that the communication will be more basic because he is communicating in a different language. Now this next quote shows the humour and human side to the man. If a Man City result is negative, expectations will drop. If we win, they will think that the new Sir Alex Ferguson has arrived. Well, Amorim, you're absolutely right. Expectations are sky high. No, but in all seriousness, Amorim did after the game say this on his Sir Alex Ferguson comment: "That was a joke. I'm certainly not going to read anything for 6 months. I did the same at Sporting. I'm not going to read anything or have access to anything. It's the only way to do my job and things well." Which again is another fascinating insight into the man. He really does not let any of the outside noise into his headspace when working. When you compare this to Jose Mourinho, who reads and listens to almost every article about himself, you can see why he doesn't accept the title of the next special one, because his outlook and management style is completely different. A difficult week, both the worst and the best of my life. Difficult because I'm leaving a place I love, but I'm joining one of the best clubs in the world. Once again, he's showing the human side to the man. He's being extremely honest here, but he's also appeasing both fan bases. He's appeasing Sporting fans by saying he's leaving somewhere he loves, and he's appeasing United fans by saying he's joining one of the best clubs in the world. Amorim knows how to work a room. I am more worried about my players feeling comfortable to play football, to win the game, than to show something to the English fans and media. My focus is on my players, and they have to feel comfortable. Now, this quote is particularly interesting because it goes to show what Rúben's management style is. He's clearly more on the servant leadership side of what can I do to help you than the autocratic leadership side of this is how it is. It also shows how stern he's going to be with the media during his time at Manchester United. He's laying down his intent with the media before he's even began the role. His people skills are backed up by Peter Skogsletten, who attended Jose Mourinho's managerial course with Rúben Amorim. When Amorim spoke, you could hear that he understood people, he understood players, he had a high understanding of the game. Not to mention the countless vouchers he's received from his current players, including Morten Hjulmand, who's had this to say: "Of course, Rúben was one of the reasons why I came to Sporting. When you work with Rúben, you see a clear picture. That was important when I joined Sporting, first to understand how he plays." The way that he manages the team inside the pitch and outside the pitch as well is not like anything I have seen in my short career. I think Manchester United are in good hands with Rúben. Again, showing that Amorim's first intention is creating a clear picture for the players, so don't expect too much in-depth talk on tactics in order to appease the English media. Amorim's number one priority will always be the players. Fans say goodbye. It was an emotional goodbye for a lot of Sporting fans who were saying farewell to the man that won them their first league title in 19 years. To say goodbye, a display was put on for Amorim before the match kicked off, and he was given a poster to commemorate his time with Sporting. Not to mention, he gave us a new Pep Guardiola meme. Following the 4-1 victory, he was also thrown in the air by the Sporting players to commemorate his last home game. Dare I say that the goodbye even had shades of Jurgen Klopp leaving Borussia Dortmund in 2015. But just when you thought it couldn't get any more emotional, we got this beautiful quote from Giuseppe Guardiola: "We will face them 2 times in the Premier League and maybe the FA Cup. In the Champions League, it is not possible." Is it just me, or does he sound rattled to you? As delicious as Pep Guardiola's tears are, on a serious note, this is going to sound absolutely ridiculous to some, but there may just be a world where Amorim retires Pep from the Premier League. Guardiola's current contract expires at the end of the season. This season, City have been underperforming in not only the league, but now the Champions League as well. Is it crazy to suggest that Pep could look at Amorim and see this new manager who appears to have the charisma of Jose Mourinho and the obsessiveness of himself coming up and decide that he doesn't want any part of it? He doesn't want to get dethroned by a man 15 years younger than him, so he just dips? I think so. All I can say is the excitement for Amorim has hit all-time high levels after watching that performance, and although it's going to take time to introduce the new system to the players, the future is bright. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and what you make of Amorim so far. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, drop a like, and stick around for more honestly biased sports content. Really appreciate you tuning in, and Godspeed.